Okay, we are live, guys. Welcome,
Okay,
welcome,
great.
welcome. A
Thank
very
you. Thank
warm
you.
welcome to all of you. This
Thank
is
you.
Sipping Chai and myself, Akshay. I'm the host, and you're watching Sipping Chai with Akshay.
Cheers,
Nice.
man.
Sure do. Yes.
Yes. So today we have the Reckoning Esports with us, Team Reckoning. So, but before we jump into the conversation, I would just like to, present a short introduction. So stick in.
The man.
Never mind, dude.
Well, there you go. The match has in fact started, and this seems to be a mid push. A flash comes in. Phoenix will get taken out. Tito, you will have to wait a little longer. Just wait this out before he can get the spike down in the last 10 seconds of that. But no, it's going to be Cloud. It looks like the run it back has been used by Cloud IQ. Oh, what a bait coming in from my end. That was the run it back being forced to be used.
By Spotter Titan is gonna find Cyrus with the wall back, and Ayanju is gonna find one more kill for himself on Pasha.
Titan, he knows that screens needs to be checked, and as Titan is going to go in for the peak, the Jet is going to flash attack as well. I'm on the 4th kill. Will he get that ace? The kill which has been used, but it looks like Waze is going to get that kill, and now it will be run it back. Is not going to work. Is this going to be the round that I was so close to winning? So the turn is not going to be able to work. Titan's still going to get that kill. The Clouder is going to fall, but now Titan's going to get another one. It's all down the line. He gets one.
Oh, wow. Dale, bye.
Oh my god, dude, that arrow. Look at this, look up. How do you get this? Contact, इधर जरा, नीचे जरा वो डाउन द रिज, इधर से आएगा.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice,
So
nice,
that,
nice,
that was
nice.
just that was just a small snippet of Reckoning Esports. These guys are great. I have watched a lot of gameplays, guys, and I have been doing my research, and I have found some of the best clips from your own channel. I was able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put some of that. Yeah, basically, I love Dota, I love Counter Strike, and all the games. I love it. And
yeah.
so this was just a small, yeah, from my side, small video from my side.
It was
So
great. I don't know about that, but Swifty might not be happy because the way he died, he didn't seem very impressed.
Yes.
yeah, especially that arrow, Mirana arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No worries, guys. So okay, so let's jump into this. We have Sharang, we have Sabyasachi, I'm
Hi,
sorry,
guys.
Sabya,
Yeah,
and
everything is fine.
Rana. So guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining the call. I am really honored and blessed to have you on the show. And how have you been? How are you guys?
So I've been good. I've been having a couple of hectic couple of weeks, and
Okay.
now, I mean, I have I think 2 or 3 days free, which I'm kind of relaxing. So going first Feb, I think will be a lot more hectic with multiple tournaments coming up for the teams, multiple secret roster reveals that we are going to do, and our own UN Community Cup Season 3 pep that we have to start rolling. And yes, there are a lot of plans going ahead.
Great. Perfect. Rana, how are you?
All
I
good,
haven't had
all
a
good.
word.
It
I
is.
haven't got a chance to have a word with Rana, so I was actually, a bit nervous to have you on
Arre,
the call. But yeah,
come on, come on. There's
yeah.
nothing to be nervous about. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me, and
Arre,
it's
sir,
really an
pleasure was
honor.
mine.
It's a pleasure. So yeah, it's a good thing.
How have you
So
been, Rana? Yeah.
well, a lot of things on the pipeline, and while apart from the reckoning, apart from the reckoning thing, which is already going on, we just finished one large section of brand development, so as to say, which we will talk over the course of the time, and
Yeah.
the next phase is just about to kind of start off. So that's another, like Sharang was saying, February onwards is another round of hectic timing happening. That's another thing. And personally, I am also one of the jury members for European Sponsorship Association Awards. So
Okay.
I'm a little tied up with that because by till
Yeah.
29th is when the submissions happen. So I'm a little tied up with the judging the cases and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sabya, coming on to you. I'm so sorry to disturb you all the time. I just
No, no, no,
over
no,
these
not
course
at
of
all.
1 week, I kept
Yeah,
texting Sabya that I need this, I need this. But yeah, eventually
yeah,
we are here.
yeah. It was fun. It was fun, and like I came on board with Reckoning in the month of January, so still learning a lot from the giants. Rana sir is there, Sharang is there,
Yeah.
so it's going good. Learning as it coming, and that's it.
Perfect, 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 guys. So, before we jump into this, just a quick disclaimer: this show is best enjoyed with a hot cup of tea. So, to the audience, those who haven't had, I recommend. So
I
yeah,
wish I wish I was a loving chai lover. Unfortunately, I'm not.
no worries, man. You can also have coffee and whatever you like.
no, I
Always
am
going to be
missing my
one
chai right
teetotaler.
now. I'm missing my chai right now.
Oh man.
Probably just after the show, I'll just go and have a cup of tea.
Oh, I mean, I have mentioned in the email that it would be great if you can
But
just a
good,
reminder.
yeah. Tad too late. Yeah, email was
No,
tad too late. Never mind. Just joking.
never mind,
Just
never mind, never
joking.
mind,
Yeah, yeah.
never mind. No. Okay, so just a quick introduction: what Reckoning Esports is and who these guys are. These are the we can say the founding pillars who took Reckoning Esports to what they are right now. And what Reckoning Esports is, I think you just saw a brief highlight about what these guys are. These guys are great into so many games: Dota 2, PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, you name it. All of them are my favorites. I have been playing those games for about more than 8 years. I don't play it right now, of course, but I do have my past. So yeah, throwing over to you guys. I want you to quickly in brief. I want you to introduce each and every one of you, so that I have 7 people watching, so they will know who you are, and we can get the
Oh.
conversation rolling.
So I think Sharang should start this because he's
Yeah,
the.
absolutely.
Perfect.
I think I should go last because my introduction might take a while. I
Okay,
mean, by
Akshay,
the
no problem.
time I finish my introduction, the whole series might get over. So it's better if everyone else goes ahead.
So I think I'll just start. I started gaming way back in what 2000 when there was the MS DOS games. You had the Prince of Persia, and you had the Contra and stuff like that. I used to love playing those. Uh, I was a younger child. I had my elder brother who used to keep playing games and stuff. So I would just watch him, and जब उसका मन किया कि he has died way too many times, then he would give me a chance. So sadly, I was more of a spectator than a player, and that's when I started loving the fact कि you can watch something and still be hooked onto it करके. And as school came, we got a PC, and I remember this one night my brother woke me up in the middle of night. It's like 12:30. He's like, "Give me your Steam ID. They are launching Dota 2 beta, and I'm gonna register your name." And luckily or something, we got the key because at initially Dota was not free. It was given on beta keys or something like that. So we got the initial keys and we started playing, and I fell in love with the game. And 10th standard, 11th standard, we had a lot of tournaments in Bangalore. We had this tournament by Logitech called Free to play 1, 2, and 3, and we used to go every time. And first round में ही हम लोग out हो जाते थे, but we keep trying. अगले साल फिर से जाएंगे, we'll do, and slowly and steadily. Okay, is my camera off, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Can you just give me a second? Can someone else take over for some time till I figure this out?
Sure.
Okay, so
So
I'll
yeah,
just chip
Rana,
in.
I
Oh
think you
yeah,
should.
Sharang.
No, please, please. I
You've got
don't
a
want.
long, you've got a long thing.
Yeah, it's better
All
you
right,
do it.
so no, so I'll just keep it short because now I have been associated with Reckoning for the past 1.5 years now, and
Okay.
traditionally I come from a very very traditional sports background in the sense that uh, uh, I used to look after all the different traditional sports, the team games and so and so. I
Okay.
was as a part of sports marketing, I used to look after different. Now, introduction to esports is courtesy Sharang, and when we first sat together and we first discussed, I did not understand anything about esports that time. Okay, so honestly, I'll have to admit that. And the interest of what esports is, and more importantly, the game or the business or the whole thing behind esports is what kind of attracted me, and tried to understand. And then I got sucked into it, and it's been 1.5 years ever since, and it's a very very interesting world, so as to say, and
Okay.
courtesy Sharang, I'm into this thing. So, and
So,
it's really a great experience of what esports. As I learn more every day, the whole thing seems to be even more interesting. It's still in that learning phase going on.
yeah.
Not a
So,
gamer, but the
okay.
the whole idea behind gaming.
Uh-huh. Okay.
How
So,
people want to watch it and so and so.
yeah, perfect. So, Rana, when did you got introduced to esports, the term esports for the first time? I mean, of course, with Sharang, but when was it? Was it about a year ago? When was it?
No, I mean esports is what we kept on hearing, So I knew about it since about, I think, for what, 4 5 years back. I
Okay.
knew what esports is, but I never really consciously, or rather subconsciously, never really bothered to look into it,
Uh-huh.
because to
Okay.
me, sitting in front of a PC or a tablet and playing games was never my cup of tea. Okay, I
Okay.
was more of a give me a ball or a bat or a football anytime and I'll go out and play. So I was never
Okay.
like sitting inside and kind of playing. But so when we met, me and Sharang, about I think 1.5 years back is when
Yeah.
we started. And when we first met, so I actually asked the first question to Sharang was, I still remember that. So tell me what esports is, and it just make me understand this whole thing. And he kind
Okay.
of gave me a look as to like ये कौन है, मतलब इसको मुझे समझाना पड़ेगा type of look that he gave me. And but then yeah, it was fun learning, and he tried to make me understand as best as he could. And so I guess it's fun, it's a big thing.
Okay. Okay. So, Rana, one more question. When did you join Reckoning? I mean, was it from the beginning, or you were called by Sharang in the middle of when they were trying
No,
to?
it was one and yeah when we met. So about yeah one year 1.5 years. That's the time when we
Okay.
first, because prior to that I have my agency independently. So I'm a consultant to Reckoning, but prior to that I have my own sports marketing agency. I'm looking after different traditional sports, as to
Okay.
international sports, international rights holders and stuff like that. But with Charang, yeah, it's been about 1.5 years with Reckoning. So
Okay, great, great. So, if I want to, dig in more deep, because I love to, learn from the, experiences of experienced people.
yes.
So, one more follow-up question, Rana. Apart from, Reckoning Esports, what do you do? And if you
Yeah.
can throw some light on your other ventures and stuff like that.
Apart from Reckoning, I sports marketing as a term. So my whole idea is to bring in the brands and sports closer, because there are a lot of to me, or it is very understated. The sports as a business or as a platform for advertising, it's a very understated area right now. People have not really explored how big sports can be as a brand platform. Okay, so
Yeah.
my goal is to actually bring the brands and the sports rights holders together in a much more inclusive manner. So I am working for a lot of sports brands like Mahindra Racing. I'm working for top Premier League clubs, Serie A clubs, uh, La Liga clubs, World Rugby. There are a couple of other areas that I'm looking for apart from esports, with Reckoning. So, and I'm working for a few brands also, trying to bring them together and giving them ideas on how best to use the sports as a platform. So yeah, so it's a lot of things going on. So yeah, apart
Okay,
from
and
that,
those are
like I
all.
told you,
Yeah.
I am also a jury member for European Sponsorship Association Awards, the ESA Awards 2021, which is going on.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's
Great, great. And those are all traditional sports, right? And not
all
you know.
traditional sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
all traditional sports.
Perfect, perfect. It was
The
great.
esports world was starts with Reckoning and Sharang, when we kind of, so yeah, I'll always be with this one, because this is a
Perfect.
one, this is like the first job wala jo situation hai. When you have
First,
that first job or first thing, the first paycheck. So ye wahi wala hisab hai, the first one.
I
yes,
So
still
I
remember
obviously, it's a
the first
soft
job and
corner.
that enthusiasm we have when you join a
Yeah.
company and stuff. I
Yeah.
can feel.
So this exactly what is the scene with me and Reckoning.
yes,
Okay,
great.
perfect. Sounds great, man. Sounds great.
Thanks,
So
thanks.
over to you, Sharky. If you
Yes,
can take over and tell the
yeah.
audience
Yeah.
what it is about.
So I started my journey into gaming, not esports per se, but my journey into gaming back in I don't even actually remember, but it was when I was in like seventh or sixth standard. I used to start. I was playing the game Road Rash at that point,
Oh man.
and
Favorite.
after that, one of my cousins, introduced me to a game called Dave, which was more of a jumping around through the maze and stuff like that. And it was that was a game that got me hooked. And after that, it was multiple experiences: Diablo 2, Dota 2, Dota 1, Warcraft. All of these
Warcraft.
games I
Yeah.
tried to play. So during my ninth and tenth, I had this close knit group of friends who were all avid gamers, and we used to any game used to come. So at that point, every time a game used to be released, there used to be a demo version released before the game,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and we used to spam the shit out of that demo version, and we used to keep you know even though we never bought the games, but we used to keep downloading these demo versions of each and every game, keep used to used to share all of that amongst us. Okay, I played this game, bro, I played this game, did you play this, stuff like that. So after that, we got to know about the Warcraft thing, and it was very kind of resembling to Age of Empires. So that was one
Yeah.
game that kind of hooked me. And after that, we started going to a nearby cafe. In that cafe, people were sitting, 10 people, 15, 20 people were sitting and watching games of, some 5 people watching, playing the game, and there were 10 people standing behind them. So it was kind of got me interested. Okay, what are these guys actually doing? And I kind of went ahead, talked to the players, and they started introducing me to the game, taught me the game. And then all 5 of us, the 5 friends that we had, we started spamming that games. And then we used to start bunking our school lectures. Used to stay Used to say to my parents that, okay, we have extra classes, so we need to stay back. And we used to play 1.5 2 hours games, and we used to come back home. So that was my whole start. And into esports, I started actually thinking about esports was back in 2013, 2014, in second year of my engineering. And at that time, I had suffered a football injury. So I dislocated my right shoulder, and the doctors had advised me not to play any physical sport for at least 1.5 years. And I was a super active kid who wanted to be, wants to spend his energy on something or the other. And then for that first 1.5 2 years, I left gaming completely, and then there was nothing for me to do. So after I got the injury, so I started playing FIFA. After playing FIFA, I started getting back into Dota 1. Then people came and said that, okay, why not try Dota 2? Started playing Dota 2. And that's how I kind of started my whole semi-pro journey. I did not ever go to a pro level, so I used to play like Sabya only. Used to register for each and every tournament, get out in the first round, and say, okay, let's go next year, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2015, 20, I mean, in 2016, late 2016, I started thinking that, okay, esports as a career for a pro athlete is very hard, and it's not remunerative at all. So I kind of took a backstage. Don't want to get involved too much, but I had this thought process. Okay, I, instead of being a competitive player myself, why not build a team, create a team, handle the team's affairs, manage the team, make sure that these guys are coming up on time, make sure that they are practicing. And I put all of it and started building the team. Couple of iterations did not work around, and then I started going into AFK Gaming's. There was there's this website called AFK Gaming, which is the go-to for all esport news and stuff. So at that
Yeah.
time, AFK Gaming was also something new, and it was used as a forum where the players used to kind of put in the LFT tag, looking for team tag. And they used to put out their requirements, their achievements and experiences. And then people, other team competitive players used to go look around, check them out, and if the players are good enough, they used to give them a ring. That's how I had my first conversation with Sabya. So I'd seen Sabya's looking for team tag in AFK Gaming in 2016.
Okay.
So one day, just randomly, on a bus ride to my gaming cafe in Chennai, I just gave him a call and said, Sabya, we need a captain, we need a player, we need someone who is going to lead the team. I'll be handling everything outside the team, and you need to be responsible inside the game.
Which
And
so sorry to interrupt. Which
yeah,
which game was it? Which game was
it
it?
was Dota 2. I started, so Reckoning
Oh
started
man,
its journey in Dota 2, and it is going to continue in Dota 2 because that is the pillar for
love
us.
it, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
So
So sorry, you can continue.
yeah, no, no worries. So Sabya was, kind of, I don't know, I don't remember well, but I think he was hesitant. So after the second call, I think he turned up for the practice, and he, kind of showed. So it was a cafe team at that time. 4 members were from the cafe, and Sabya was the only one who was staying outside. He was from Bangalore that time. So the team worked out quite well. And then, after each and every tournament, your aspirations keep coming up. So to achieve those aspirations, you need to, keep making changes into the team, because there are some players, who are not that serious enough. Sabya is a player who was serious at that point, and he wanted to achieve something. Similarly, there were some players who were not serious enough, so we had to let them go. We had to find. So finding, scouting players, looking at their games, is a very tedious job. And I made sure my players did not, bear the brunt of that. I used to sit myself. I remember I used to pay some 300 or 350 bucks for 10 hours in my
Uh,
gaming lounge, and used to sit there for the whole day watching replays, watching players play, adding them, interacting with them. And that's how, I got into, I mean, when Reckoning had started its journey in Dota 2, I think we've had at least 200 or 300 players trying out for the team before we finalized the 5-man lineup after 1 year.
wow.
And yeah, and Sabya was part of that, as well as Jobby, who is our Dota 2 coach now. He was also part of that team, and Jobby has been with us for the past, I think, 2.5 years. Sabya was the original member of Dota 2. So, and now, going ahead from Dota 2, we expanded into PUBG PC. PUBG PC, we went to CSGO. Went from CSGO, we went to, PUBG Mobile, then Rainbow Six. Now we are in Valorant and Call of Duty Mobile, and there are, I think, multiple games gonna be coming up soon with us. So uh, it has been a very roller coaster of a ride, disappointments, positives, and hopefully now going ahead, we'll be having the a ride that is going to only take us to world championships or something like that.
Love it, man. Love it. I mean, I can feel the vibe. I'm I'm surprised, man. You didn't discover me back at that time. I'm not sure you must have collabed because I was back then. I remember, from you saying bunking class and playing in the cafe. I remember I would like to share some background about myself
You
regarding that.
can definitely.
Yeah. So what happened is when I was in college, by the way, I'm a mechanical engineer. So any engineers out here?
Yes,
So
yes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also a mechanical
All
engineer.
of
Yeah.
all of
Yeah, I'm a
us, I
CS
guess.
engineer. CS.
All of us.
oh,
I'm a chemical engineer.
so it is said that engineers are the most universal breed on earth. So they can do
Yeah.
anything. So
Yeah, and that's
I was
that's. Sorry, I'm cutting here.
no no no
That's
worries,
what
no worries.
was our. That is what were our one of our professors used to say, that we engineers are basically not good at they are very good at finding out the faults and recreating it, and if you know how to recreate, how do you figure out the ways, and you are an engineer. The
Oh,
best engineer knows how to find out the ways, so we know how to find out the ways. What Sharang
exactly.
did, what you did, what
Yes,
Sabya,
yes,
and all of us, we found out our ways, and therefore our
yes.
background comes in picture.
Jugadu life.
Exactly.
Jugadus,
Exactly.
the biggest Jugadus in the world.
Biggest one. I can say if somebody is confused with their life, don't know what to do, just go ahead and do engineering. By the time during the course
Stay
you'll
in
figure.
the stay in the hostel. Stay in the hostel, because when you come out of the hostel, you are a man.
Yes, yes,
Definitely.
definitely.
You are no
And
longer a boy.
Or we change the definition of a man.
basically you'll figure out what to do in
So
your
we
life
will.
apart from engineering.
So Sharon, we will talk about it separately.
Definitely. So I was that, one of those 70% of the engineers who just, take it like that. So I did that. And during the 4 years of my engineering career, what I did was play Dota 2 and Counter Strike CSGO. So that's it. I started from high school and, kept on doing it until I finished my mechanical engineering. So that was the course of journey. And so there is this instance that I want to share. So we were going the same way. We had a fixed routine. Me and my friend, we used to bunk college and straight away go to the gaming cafe. One day, my parents, they were coming from this way, and we were crossing by, and they saw both of us. So I saw my parents. I didn't reacted, and I told my friend कि भाई चलाते रहे, जल्दी से चलाते रहे, देखना मत कहीं पे, चलाते रहे बस. He did, and the very next moment I got a call. ऐसे phone देखा, it was dad. So Khatam. Then I was shocked. I just picked up the call, and he said, "Where are you, Akshay?" I said, "I'm just going to the college," because I knew he saw me, so I cannot lie. So I said that I'm going to the college. I had some project work, so I was staying at my friend's, and I'm just going right now, and I'm on the way. So he said, "Okay, I just saw you. Can you please come and meet me?" ऐसा. तो मैंने बोला हाँ ठीक. Okay, I told my friend that no matter what happens, doesn't matter what happens, even if you get a slap, don't tell that we were at the gaming cafe. He said, "Okay, I'll not tell." We went, and my dad shouted, "अभी कहाँ जा रहे हो ये टाइम पे?" एंड उसकी फट गई. उसने सब बोल दिया. बोले, "हम लोग हुए थे अंकल, अभी जा रहे हैं गेम खेलने." तो सब खत्म. फिर my dad was all mad, and then he took us to the gaming cafe, and वहाँ जाके उन्होंने बराबर से वो गेमिंग कैफे वालों को बोले कि you do this, you mess with children's futures and stuff like that. So that was the
I think
incident.
that both of my parents have done that in each and every gaming cafe that I've gone. So
Yeah.
that is a journey of each and I don't know about Sabya, but
No, I've always played in my house, comfortably घर पे बैठ के. But I've seen this. I've seen, my friends getting a lot of shit from their parents. Parents going to cafes and giving a lot of
A lot.
shit. Yeah.
Yup.
A lot. So those were my days.
The difference here was you guys play in the cafe. I used to play on the ground.
Hmm.
That's what that was.
बात वही था.
हाँ.
बात वही था. मार वही खाता था. सब था वही scene. It's just that you guys play in front of the screen. I used to play outside. That's otherwise सब चीज same था.
But still, Rana, that back at that time, traditional sports was not considered that, like game खेल रहा है. तो it was not that. तो वो game तो it was
शायद-
like a doom. हाँ.
वो शायद था, but I think it was more or less like everywhere. I mean, India,
Right.
we parents पढ़ोगे नहीं तो कुछ नहीं बन पाओगे. So
Exactly.
so the point being पढ़ते रहो, बाकी कुछ मत करो. So that's probably was the reason. But anyway, I mean that's one of the things that is probably changing now, which is again which is again a good sign, or probably a very futuristic sign, because what that time we did not have so many career options. Now and this is now becoming a career option, a viable career option, and people are actually understanding or probably waking up to the fact कि अरे ये career भी बनाता है, and they're taking it seriously, and there is a kind of mindset change happening, although in a pace which is quite small. I mean, low pace, and but it is happening. So over the period of time, you can see a lot of changes maybe coming up in the next 5 years, 10 years, and things like that.
Yeah,
So-
we'll definitely come to that. I do have a dedicated question for that, so we'll discuss that for sure. So once again, Sabya, we left it over to you. Your introduction, and we'll jump straight into questions.
Yeah, so this is what happened. We started playing, a lot of local tournaments and stuff. And as Sharang said, that I went to AFK Gaming Ka forum, and I put myself, LFT. I am a player. I want to do this. These are my goals and aspirations. And I got a call randomly in the middle of the day. This guy is like, "I'm Sharang. I want to do this." And I was like, "यार ये तो मजाक कर रहा है भाई." मतलब कोई ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. Someone has called me कि तू भाई तू मेरे प्रोफेशनल टीम में आके खेल. And that's the hesitation that he was talking about. I was like, यार अभी ये कल मेरे को बोलेगा कि तू चेन्नई आ जा, and then he'll ask me money for it or something and all. I was like कि नहीं, इसको avoid करते हैं, नहीं खेलेंगे. And then later he called again, and then I was like, नहीं यार, this guy is actually genuine and he really wants me to play. And then I spoke to him कि नहीं यार, I'm going to be in Bangalore, and whatever I have to do, I'll do it from Bangalore. And then somehow or the other we came to a middle ground ki, this is what we're going to do, and this is how it happened. And then the journey was fabulous. I mean, the people that he has connected me over the years has been great. I got to play with some of India's best, and मैं कहीं पे था, and these guys took me up there. And so because it's a team game, तुम अकेले कुछ नहीं कर सकते, and he was the one who did the heavy lifting for all of us. So I'm very grateful to him for that. I briefly left esports in 2019 when I had my campus placements and all going on. मैंने बोला कि यार अभी हो गया, I wanted to win one LAN tournament before I retire from gaming, and that happened with us. We came second एक दो जगह पे, and then we won one LAN tournament, and then I was like, this is more than enough for me. This is what I wanted to do from esports, and I have one good memory, so it's time to call it a whatever career or whatever. And then I worked in the IT sector for it's almost 2 years now. I put up my papers very recently, and then I told Sharang, I wanna be back in the Reckoning family. I want to help out as much as I can. And he always thought that this industry needs to be run by people who are a part of this industry, and outsiders, they will take time. They will not be able to adjust to things. Of course, Rana sir is an outsider, and he has very nicely taken the change. बोलना पड़ता है ऐसे. Uh, so
बोले बोले
I
अच्छा
took
लगता है, सुन के अच्छा लगता है.
yeah, so I took that offer up, and now I'm back with the Reckoning family. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very thankful and grateful to Sharang that he gave me this opportunity, and I hope that I can repay his trust in me by doing great things together. Thank
I
you.
think
Perfect, man.
Thanks for coming to my TED talk.
Sharang is
थोड़ा
like, अब
इमोशनल
रोला,
कर रहा है.
अरे यार.
Sharang is like, बस क्या, अब रुलाएगा क्या?
नहीं, whenever I had a conversation, even the first conversation I had with Sabya was, a very mature conversation. So the moment I had that conversation, I knew that he is bound to be a team leader. And that is how we need to build the team around. That is how I need to go about. At least the first step that I need to know, I identified that and I worked on that. And if I wouldn't have met Sabya, I think it would have been a very hard decision. I mean, Reckoning wouldn't have been where it is currently now. Might be there, might be because it's very hard to find leaders. Not a captain
Correct.
but a leader. In any team that you're. So it was AFK. Kudos to AFK Gaming. And
Yeah.
I actually,
No, man.
the thing is, why I really liked Sabya's for the post was because his post was the only post which had perfect English.
Okay.
And everyone else was everyone's English was in shambles. Like okay, भाई इन लोग से तो नहीं हो पाए. So I was like, okay, English है तो I can definitely connect with them. So ऐसा. So I
Well,
don't know,
now I know why
maybe
you picked me.
yes,
That
yes,
was it. My
yes.
English was the one that caught your eye.
I was a very abhi I am Hindi bol ke, I mean my English has gone down.
Oh,
But when I
same.
was in Chennai and when I was in my 11th, 12th or 10th, my English was pinpoint, and that was because of my tuition teacher being very much particular about how I use the words and which sentences I use. तो उसके ऊपर मेरा इतना she had such a big impression that okay, कोई भी इंग्लिश बोल रहा है ना, he's one step inside reckoning. वैसा.
Okay. Perfect, Sharang. Seems like you're really proud to have these guys on the panel. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, Sharang, just a quick question: did you had second thoughts before having them on the team, or did you had any other candidates that you were not sure कि सब्या को ले या इसको ले ऐसे करके?
I say, see, these dilemmas will keep coming up and have happened to me in the past.
Okay.
For me, it has always been, the person who shows the most amount of dedication, even if in the smallest of things. There are people who keep, nitpicking on small things. Okay, अरे यार ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है, lazy stuff. So that, kind of tilts me most. I am myself a lazy guy. I admit that. But when it comes to doing something that is going to be, driving my team upwards, then I expect the effort that I am putting in needs to be reciprocated by the other players as well. And when I find that there is lack in that, I have no second thoughts on removing it. But when two people are showing the same dedication, same desire to be in reckoning, then the decision becomes a bit hard. But till now, whatever decisions I had taken till now, for I do not regret any one of those, because I feel that whatever decisions I took has led me to a path that is I'm very proud to stand on now. And if I start reanalyzing, अरे वो करना चाहिए था, ये करना चाहिए था, and then it's just going to make my future, it always going to be a very fearful future कि अरे यार ये
Definitely.
करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा, वो करेंगे तो वो हो जाएगा. So I don't want to be like that. So whenever, even with any player, like if he is coming late to the practice, he's out of the team. The first day of the practice is out of the team. If he's coming late to the practice 7 days into then he's out of the team. I mean, there needs to be, like, there are other 4 players, other 5 players waiting for him. They are showing some kind of dedication. You do not have the right to be that
Yeah.
lax.
Hmm.
And that has been gameplay decision. I have always always kind of 50, 60, 70% have let it on the players who are playing with him. I've let them, okay, you guys decide whom you're more comfortable with, but outside of the games I've taken 100% of the decision. When it comes to, I've had multiple fights with the players as well, like, array dude, that guy's so talented, why you being such what do you say, so strict, so nazi, like, in behaving like this. So you can be a relaxed guy, chill out. But no, man, this is the first instance. There are going to be multiple instances, and at that point of time, changing or finding a player is going to be a very difficult task. So it's better you nip it in the bud when it's there. So
Especially when games like Dota 2, we have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
lot of
So
galis here and there, and things get hot sometimes.
yep,
I understand.
yep, yep.
Yeah. So, Sharang, once again, you, what
Yeah.
was the major factor that you decided to found that I want to build Reckoning?
So
What was that thing?
actually, this is a very interesting this thing. Uh, the decision of starting with Reckoning Esports or someone who pushed me into it. Okay, you are a
Mhm.
good person. You manage people nicely. You are like a team leader kind of a guy. Why not? So this was my gaming lounge at that time in Chennai. I had a gaming lounge. So his owner was wanted to have a Dota 2 team for the cafe. So I used to be that regular over there who used to be there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday every day. And he said that why don't you take the responsibility of building a team?
Okay.
So that statement excited me a lot, and said, "Arey, chalo karte hai." And then the whole reckoning journey actually started. It was because that guy pushed me towards this thing. And after that, all the decisions I took were completely independent decisions. But then the person who actually pushed me was never much interested in doing this thing. So I said, let it be. Let me just take the whole mantle, and I'll just go around and do my stuff and have that liberty of uh, achieving my dream and my passion. So in 2016 itself, I had set a goal for myself that TI10 is going to be the time
Ah,
when Reckoning puts its name on the ticket. And it was back in that time I had said, okay, I had calculated 3-4 years into this thing consideration ki bhai TI10 to apna hai. And now TI10 got postponed because of COVID. So people are, cursing the COVID. But I actually think that it
yeah,
is actually a blessing in disguise for us, that you've got one more year to prepare for it and
Yeah.
one more year to grind it
definitely.
and get the right players on board and start winning stuff. So I'm really proud of the team right now, of the Dororo team that is with us. And I think I mean, touch wood. I hope that these guys start showing up and start winning some tournaments now. So they've put in a lot of effort to reach where they are now.
Totally, man. I totally
Yeah.
understand. Dota 2 is a tough game.
Yes, it
Second
is.
most tough game, if I'm not wrong, in the world. But yeah, it is. So, Sharang, who was the first person you reached out when you had this thought that I want to build Reckoning and not Reckoning but Dota routine basically.
Uh, so the first team that I associate myself with was with Sabya, and before that it
Okay.
was just my cafe people, friends playing, trying out in the team and stuff like that. But when we actually started thinking of registering ourselves in the tournament was with Sabya being the first member of the team. So
Okay.
he is,
So yeah.
the OG member.
Acha. ठीक है. So Sabya was was Sabya acting as a player or just a team head?
No, he was the player. He was the captain as well. And I had put majority of the responsibility on him, saying that okay, you need to come up with the game plan. You need to come up with this. You need to come up with that. You need to have sit and have replay analysis sessions. Understand what the pros are doing. I'll also come in. I'll also be there with you guys 24/7. Uh, yes, and he was the captain of the team. He was the captain. He was the leader of the team. And after that we started building, we started looking at players. Then I went ahead and convinced Joshua, who is a coach. We call him fondly Jobby. So
Yeah.
he
Okay.
joined the team as one of our carry players, and then along with him there was one more guy who was his close friend, was RC. So he also joined the team, and that is how the whole team came on board. And then started looking out at players outside of the South India. I started looking at connecting with players from Mumbai, from Pune, from North Punjab, stuff like that. So uh, got a whole mix. That our team was the first team, I feel, at that point, that had players from Pune, from all parts of the country.
Wow.
And yeah, before everyone was, either it was people who know them, like okay, this guy is my friend, I'm gonna be playing with him for my whole of my life. But Reckoning was the first time, I think, we had players coming from Pune, from Delhi, from Bangalore, from Chennai, and all parts of the country. So, and all of them were, no, none of them were friends. All of them were very new to each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
So the
we
only
became very
thing,
close. We became a very
yeah,
tight knit group by the end of it. I
end
remember,
of it, yeah.
the tournaments we went to Ahmedabad, we went to Hyderabad, we went
Oh
to
man.
Mumbai, and I used to enjoy bunking with Joshua. We used to be roommates, so enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed my time with Zap and Money. So it was fun times. And Sharang was the one who was bearing all the cost. So हम लोग तो मस्ती कर रहे थे. We were the ones who were just playing games and flying from city to city. We were living the dream कि यार हम लोग एक tournament खेलने यहाँ से वहाँ जा रहे हैं. It was
Man,
lovely.
it is still a dream for me, but yeah, someday. So Sharang, how was it like, to take care of all the funding and your paisa kahan se aana hai, how was managing all that?
So the first was I used to use my own pocket money,
Oh man.
and then my mom started supporting me in 2018. 2018 was a time when we started to fly off. We started to register ourselves as the top 3 or top 4 teams in the country, and that was a time when we were invited to multiple events, and we had to fly down, stay over there. And so Nazara, owner, founder, Mr. Manish Agarwal sir. So I had a conversation with him, and me and my mom both had a conversation with him, and I was kind of explaining what reckoning is all about. uh, and he was very positive that esports is going to be a very big scene, and if reckoning does well now, it is going to be a big thing 2 or 3 years down the line. And he kind of changed my mom's mindset, that okay, you need to start supporting your child. So of course she was supporting me already before, and that conversation with Manish sir was the whole turning point, that mom jumped all in. Okay, let's go join, let's do this. And we formulated, incorporate the whole reckoning esports under UN Esports as a company and a private limited. And then we started getting players on board, having contracts with salaries in it, and getting them boot camp, bearing the whole cost of the boot camp and the travel as well. and
Okay.
we used to take a percentage of the prize pool,
Okay.
and that is how.
Great. So, Sharon, just for the guys and other teams, just like you, those are just starting out in the esports realm. So, for them, what was your primary source of we can say revenue back at that time when things were not monetized, I suppose.
So even today in India, it's not yet monetized. Only there are few
Agree.
who actually are monetizing through their content creation businesses. But otherwise, through esports, it's only through prize pools. Uh, through prize pools and sponsorships here and there. But
Mhm.
it's still not yet come to the point where brands are coming in, sponsoring the whole team because I mean. They have their own experiences, but I feel now esports has evolved and developed into a very different thing completely 2 or 3 years back when it was.
Okay.
And just we are seeing that the multiple instances where brands have started investing into the teams rather than only just tournaments. So any brand who wanted to invest into esports, who used to think chalo tournament karo, that's all. But now they are thinking ki, "Arey, okay, let's start talking to teams, let's start talking to content creators, let's start talking to streamers, stuff like that, and build the brand around them." And hopefully now, uh, within the next 1.5 years, we'll see multiple brands supporting multiple teams, and there will be a good environment of rivalry, not just in the competitive field but also in the official professional field that they have. So that is something that I'm actually looking forward, and I hope that happens soon. So
Okay.
primary source of revenue is the price pool. It is still the same thing, and it's just that how much longer you can survive in the business uh, is it's the whole mantra. The fittest survives.
Yeah. So man, I can figure it must be
Yeah.
really tough because
Yep.
you keep on have to winning tournaments, man. If you
Yes.
don't, you stop.
Yep.
You'll have to stop paying your employees. I mean the players and stuff.
Or you change the players. That is one more option.
Oh yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. Rana, one question to you. I'm so sorry if you are feeling, kind of.
No, 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 please.
Chai nahi
No,
mila hai.
no.
Chai nahi mila hai,
Chai nahi
man.
mila.
That is important. Chai important.
Yeah, chai nahi
So,
mila.
uh, Rana, what are your primary responsibilities with Reckoning? Matlab, on a daily basis, or we can say on a consistent basis, what is the primary work that you
See,
do for Reckoning?
two things, okay? Like what Sharang was saying, I'm taking off from what Sharang was saying. One is it the whole change of what it is and what it is going to be in the next few years, as far as esports is concerned or as far as reckoning is concerned. Both ways, it is like that. The journey of there's a huge changeover which is about to happen. Indian esports is unstructured right now. Okay,
Hmm.
very very unstructured.
Yep.
So and
Yeah.
people or brands for that matter don't really realize how to use esports or what can they get out of esports. Now over the past 1.5 years since I have been associated, my role in esports, I'll just come to that. It's on two things. It's on brand development. I'm a consultant to brand development, and second one is to the sponsorship. So I am speaking with a lot of brands on the sponsorship bit also, and the whole way the things are changing. I've seen the questions change from esports में, like Sharang was saying, competition में sponsor कर देते हैं,
Mm.
to a consistent believing in the team and building up the team and getting returns in turn, and making them understand of what can you get. So that's my primary role. One is building the brand, and two is getting
Okay.
the brands coming in, building the reckoning brand and getting the sponsors thing. That's primarily the thing. And so in this, where I'm coming from is, so we have taken the first step of building a reckoning brand. So there is a interesting story to the whole reckoning name. We try to build that story, or try to build, in the sense, give the people, make the people understand the story of reckoning, why the
Okay.
name reckoning. Okay, so So what we are trying to do is create Reckoning as a brand, and people who are officially, unofficially fans, members, everybody who is part of the Reckoning umbrella should feel happy or honored to be a part of Reckoning. That is the giving them the reason of why do you need to love Reckoning. So when you see the story, I suggest you see that story once again. Then
Yeah.
it's on the Reckoning website. Then you'll understand. Okay, then you'll understand why. I mean, yeah, this is where I relate myself to, and my time is like apna time aayega.
Yeah.
So this is that moment of with Reckoning, the time can come.
Okay.
So either way, are you a player, you are a content creator, you are some fan, that whole thing, with Reckon, you understand, you feel be you like a part of it. That's what so we started off with building the brand, taking the step, making the people understand it. And there's a long way to go. We just finished the phase 1 of it, and there's a long way to go. So there is a
Yeah.
lot more phases coming up in the near future. And of course the brand starts asking questions about sponsoring and associating in the long term. So yeah, that's the second thing. And the third thing is what Sharang was saying, was the content creation bit. So we are thinking on a very very serious note of creating content, in sense content which has not been seen so far in India. That kind of content. Okay, we are not talking about just streamers and things like that. We're talking beyond that. One of the questions that you asked is, for people who are listening, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, like Sharan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a story,
Okay.
right? That's a story to be told. So
Correct.
we, that's the kind of thing that we are looking for, the behind the scenes, what people can learn from it, what people can, you are a content creator for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what goes in your mind when you create content like this? That's a story to be told. So
Correct.
we
Correct.
are talking of how an esports in a universe can really evolve out, and Reckoning, we want to be the thought leaders in this. So that's where we are moving towards. So in the new course, so my role is building that, charting that path, and trying to achieve, as we go along.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree, Rana, that there's a story behind whatever you do.
Yeah,
So my
there is a
story
story.
is, I would say, I'm just an esports enthusiast, I would say, and not a content creator. I mean, secondary, we can say I'm a content creator, but the story and purpose behind that all of this is just I share the same vision basically. I want to empower the Indian esports community as a whole,
Exactly.
and by bringing up these conversations, there are a lot of young
Yes,
enthusiasts.
absolutely. Absolutely. So there is a huge unstructured thing out there. We want to make it structured. That's where we are leading to. That's
Exactly.
probably, best, easiest way to put it across. So
Perfect. Perfect.
Sharan takes care of the gaming part, keeps on winning tournament and all, and the rest of the behind the scene business is what we are trying to do, me and Sabya.
Great. Perfect. Great, Rana. So, you said you try to bring, sponsorship for Reckoning. So,
Yeah.
so far, what are the achievements in terms of, sponsorships? Have you been able to close
It
any, and how much? Yeah.
There are discussions going on with a lot of them. Okay, now it's a it's a thing that we have consciously attempted to, and with the UN Community Cup coming up, you'll see a lot of things. So
Okay.
that's where probably things will start moving on. We have spoken with a lot of them, and like I said, the brands were either used to find the endemic brands, which is the PCs, the gaming, the peripherals, and all, who used to be a part of a natural fit to the
Yeah.
thing. Now you see a lot of other brands who understand the power of youth, or power of this young audience that we have, is when they are waking up to it, and slowly bringing it, slowly
Mhm.
want to be a part of it. So yeah, in the next course of 1 year, you will see a lot of changes happening. We have
Perfect.
been having discussions, but yeah, let's see in the next few months things should
I mean,
materialize
it's
and
a very
speak.
slow process, like the things you do now, they come in effect, after years, 1 or 2 years, you'll see the true results. It's a very slow process, but yeah, we're getting to it. We're making it happen one step at a time, one video or something like that. So yeah.
Yes,
No,
perfect,
there are
perfect,
a
guys. So
lot of things
yeah,
coming up. A lot of things coming up. Keep watching the space and
yeah,
you will learn.
definitely, definitely. A follow-up question to that, all of you guys. I mean, what are the future plans with Reckoning? What can the audience and the fans can expect from Reckoning in we can say a year or two?
Uh, I would say for the next coming year for Reckoning Esports and the competitive side of esports, we are expanding to Southeast Asia, and we'll be kind of making it a whole boom bam affair, and so the whole community knows that what we are actually trying to do. With the Indian market or the South Asian market, we are also expanding to one or two more new esport titles. One of them we've already kind of closed the deal almost, and we'll be revealing them within the next coming week. And this is the competitive side of esports that we are looking at. We'll be expanding into multiple esport titles. We'll be establishing our Valorant as well as our Dota 2 division. And for the Dota 2 division, we'll be expanding into Southeast Asia and creating a much more stable environment of reckoning over there. uh, Going ahead for the content creation, we are also till now reckoning has always been a competitive esports company. It has always put its focus on achievements, and rather than being a content driven company. And now in 2021 we are kind of going to be focusing also. We won't change our stance. We'll be continuous, keep on focusing on competitive side, but we also started driving our content creation division. We started opening with taking Sabya on board, and we'll also go around, start looking at getting content creators, streamers out there. We'll create a whole how would you say I would we'll create a whole, I mean, bouquet of things which reckoning can offer to the brands, to the community, and to the esports audience in general. And for the content creation, that is our going go to plan. Then there are multiple activities that we've planned for the fans and the audience that have been with us for the past 2 or 3 years. And starting up will be the UN Community Cup Season 3. And you know we are looking at having multiple game titles in it involved. We will be having to getting multiple countries outside India involved in it. And it's going to be a big thing, and we hope that we create a whole festival of sorts for the Indian gaming audience, that they'll be kind of eager to or hungry towards the next, keep on tuning in for the next coming future seasons. And yep, that is our plan. We'll be releasing a whole video on what we are going to be investing on for the 2021 year, and make sure the fans and everyone is, even the rivals are, wary of our plans, that okay, this is what we are going to be doing. And that is how the whole esports industry is going to be looking at reckoning esports for now.
It's going to be an exciting time. I
Great.
can tell you that.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Perfect, perfect.
it's
I'm just
the world it's not just India, no. It's Indo Southeast Asia.
yes, definitely. I am really excited, to see what's coming up. So, Sharan, to you, man, again. So, a lot of organizations and a lot of new esports organizations, I can say, in the past few years, they, they get confuse themselves between being a content creation team and an esports team. So, what are your thoughts on, combining those two, or they should focus on one thing first and then be the content creation team later on?
So it's actually everyone has its own different policy, unique policy that they want to follow. I am not in a place to judge whether they are right or whether they are wrong. But for me, it has always been creating stars out of your competitive players rather than hiring stars or hiring, content creators or streamers, and then banking on their success to create an IP out of yourself. I just feel that is not the way to go for any esports company. There are companies who look at that the easiest way to gain traction, easiest way to gain followers, but all of these followers are not hardcore followers. These guys are kind of generic followers that attach themselves to the person that you're having on board. Whereas if we create a star out of our whole bouquet of players, the fan base first joined us as a supporter for Reckoning. It will they This fan base will start supporting the players. This fan base will keep supporting Reckoning Esports as a brand even after the player leaves. So that is our policy that we are trying to set in. We've never kind of went ahead and got the all the star. Even though we have the funds, we have never went over there. Okay, we don't want to get all the star players. What we're gonna do is we want to go to the underdogs, the players who have the talent but do not have the platform. We give them that platform. We give put in the efforts to mine the whole talent out of them, make them from a coal to a diamond, and then banking on their success to create an identity for us. That is what we are looking at, and that is what we are going to be doing it going ahead.
Totally love it. Totally love it, Sharang. Go Sabya.
Akshay,
That,
so
yeah, yeah.
Akshay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
just 2 minutes. No, nothing to say. I'm just taking a break for 2 minutes. I'm just coming back. I'll
Okay.
join you back if
No
I'll
worries.
just
No
stop the
worries.
cam and I'll just just
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, Akshay.
So until Rana comes, Sabya,
Yeah.
I'll shoot one question to you as the request Ashish Singh. So Sabya, what is your favorite Dota 2 hero, man?
Uh, I think I gotta go with Rubik because he can just steal. I'm not saying stealing is good or stealing is nice, but I think the possibilities of making good plays or amazing plays is endless. You can steal a Ravage, you can steal a Black Hole, or you can just steal one Earth Spike from a Lion and you can change the whole team fight around because they don't know what you have stolen, right, in the midst of things. And a lot of players got a lot of Arcanas. They got the SF Arcana, Wind Ranger
Ah,
Arcana. The
man.
only one Arcana I bought with my earned money was Rubik's. So I think I gotta go with
Ah,
Rubik.
nice.
Yeah, I think
Nice, man. I was a invoker player, I would say, back
correct.
in that. I would not say there are a lot of invoker players, and every one of them is like I am the best invoker player. I would
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
say I am the best invoker player, but I was fast back at that time. So that was my favorite hero.
I
How
could never
about
play these invoker meepos and all. I would always stick to easy. Means I was a Chen spammer for a very long time to reach from
oh
5k to around 6k, 5.8k. I spammed the shit out of Chen because it was very strong and no one knew
yeah.
how to counter it. But then I couldn't deal with the invokers and the meepos. I would never do them.
Especially in the higher MMRs, man, Meepo just
Yeah, it becomes very easy to play against those. So yeah.
yeah.
And you know what I want to do, just touch upon what Sharang said about content creators and stuff, because a lot of teams and a lot of organizations, what they do is they take the player, उनका value जब खत्म हो जाता है, they just throw them away. It's a very
I
unsustainable way of running a business. You're just letting someone off कि अच्छा you are done with our team, बस हो गया, आपका खत्म हो गया. That's not
exactly.
what we want to do. That's not the legacy we want to build. We want to create a name around a player, and they should be well off. Even if they leave us, or even if they are not no longer with us, they are always going to be a part of Reckoning, and we'll always be helpful to them, and support them in any way we can. And that's the Reckoning way. That's why I came back to this family where I knew like this is going to take care of you. So that's one major reason why I chose to come back to Reckoning. Not as a player, but as a something executive or a management aspect of it. So yeah.
Great. Great, Sabya. Sabya, how is it like, working with the Reckoning Esports? If you can
uh,
say
hon-
that.
Honestly, I would say that I'm learning a lot. I'm meeting a lot of these industry titans, and it is a little bit daunting from time to time. Even my first meeting with Rana sir, I was a little taken aback. Because what happened all of a sudden, Sharang is like, कि अच्छा 7:30 बात करें, then he's like 6:45 आजा call पे, and Rana sir was there, and he's throwing this question, that question, and I'm trying my best to impress him. So some way or the other, I find it थोड़ा daunting, but it's a
Right.
great experience to be learning so much, and reaching out to people. There's a lot of sometimes a lot of cold calling and stuff, and that requires थोड़ा skill. You need to be
I agree.
catchy enough to make sure that they get on board, and a little bit hectic, but I'm enjoying every bit of it. I'm looking forward to every bit. Every day there's something new happening, so yeah, it's a fun thing, and it's
It's actually the other way, guys, because I
yeah.
am learning a lot from y'all. Coming
Yeah, I
from
think
that, I'm learning a lot from y'all because मेरे को हर दिन नया नया चीज पता चलता है e-sports के बारे में. It is,
Yes.
yeah.
to me, it's a learning stage, of course. I mean, just recently with this whole expansion and all, तो मुझे अभी पता चला how does Southeast Asia behave in esports. I'm just trying to understand, their market and their understanding and our understanding is quite different. हम we are still struggling a bit to understand and creating that structure. While Sharang is a veteran in this field,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and so is Sabya is because he has been there since the beginning. So but people today are still you know trying to figure out how best we can do. There are possibly millions of people who want to start their esports team and career and things like that, but they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that direction, that structure and all, it's very kind of in a shape where we don't know. So yeah, it's new learning every time, and with these guys, as we keep on talking, I need to understand. तो ये लोग जब बात करते थे शुरू में, तो मेरे को तो I had to struggle to catch up with them, to
Uh,
understand. Then I used to actually go back and do a Google search, read a little bit about it. अच्छा ये बोला. Now I understand what he was saying, and then again next time we talk, and then probably I'm a little more updated. तो ऐसा होता था मेरे साथ, but now it's like quite I think it's quite okay. I am
but
understanding a bit.
But
And
Rana, that's just the humble nature, your humble nature. I mean, you saying you got to learn a lot of the things from these kids, and of course, there's a lot of age difference, but there are a lot of people out there who kind of don't really fit into this kind of nature. So I have had a lot of conversations, and they are like, I am the boss, and you listen to me. So that's just depends
That
on
never
you.
that never works, man. That
yeah.
never works.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
definitely that never works.
never
Sabya, I'm so
works.
sorry. You were saying something.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say that I've been a player, so I had seen ki the preparation that you need as a player is very different from the execution side. It's very different. It's a whole new ball game. Talking to people, talking to business leaders, and it's nowhere close to what I've done pehle. So it's a learning curve. It's a learning experience. I just want to conclude that answer.
Great, great. So I just saw this comment from Aparna ma'am.
Yeah,
So I'm really not sure why she's not here, but if we can just discuss what is her role. I mean, I can figure something that she would be kind of a mother of Reckoning Esports or something like that. But still, I would
I
like
mean,
to hear it
she
from you.
is she is the mother of Reckoning Esports because she is my mom. So,
Uh,
so she, I mean, uh, there's this always like with every Indian family there was this distaste for gaming and distaste for esports. Esports, matlab that time not even me, I had hard time kind of differentiating what was gaming and what was esports even before Reckoning Esports actually started. And there was always this distaste कि अरे क्या कर रहा है, क्यों time waste कर रहा है, focus कर पढ़ाई पे, this that do this. But you know there was a lot of hardships, but this would have been a totally different conversation right now. I would have been in the audience right now and watching some esports entrepreneur speak about esports with you if my mom wouldn't have been, supporting me. So
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
all, yes, yes. It is all credits to her for believing in me for doubting me, so that that gave me an opportunity to prove me, prove her, okay, this is what you're telling me, this is not possible, okay, I'll try to make it possible. And always trying to expand my boundaries, and always nitpicking on each and everything, so that in future I'm very much aware, very much wary of what mistakes I might make. Now whenever there's this one habit that she said, like, you need to keep proofreading everything, your contracts and stuff like that. And whenever I kind of submit contracts to the players, or make their contracts, I make sure that I'm reading each and every statement, and then thinking it from the player side, कि भाई मैं इसको अपने benefit के लिए कैसे करूंगा, and then making sure that organization stance is on a higher pedestal than the players, because we as an organization invest headfirst into the players. The rewards come at a later duration, that it's very hard to explain these stuff to the players and the upcoming aspiring players, but they need to actually understand that, of course, yeah, their efforts are rewarded, but the investment from the organization is head first, and the results come later. So the stance in every contract for a player is going to be much more favored towards the organization. Of course, I'm not driving it towards exploitatory nature, but it
Mhm.
will be somewhat favored. And as soon as there is this mutual trust that is building with the player and the organization tries to give its utmost priority to the player. I have done that with my multiple of my players. I've done that with like Sabya, with Jobby, who is our Dota coach, with multiple players who have been with us, and multiple managers who have been with us. That, okay, you show me that you are worth the investment that is from Reckoning, and then we will be we'll be opening our arms towards you. That is what. And this is something that that mom has taught me, and all thanks to her that I'm standing at this sitting in this conversation. नहीं तो कोई और होता था इधर, and I would have been in the chat, अरे मेरे को बताओ how to get there,
Man.
get this done.
So big
So
shout out to Aparna
yes,
and
yes,
all
Oh
the
yeah,
parents
she is
out
the one
there.
who got me in, by the way.
yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did had a short conversation with her, and
Yes, yes. Still,
it's
she has studied a lot about the esports industry for the past 2 years that she's been with me, and the number of seminars, the number of interviews that she watches, she reads, he keeps forwarding me this. I just go through the gist of it. I mean, the title, if it is something that is interesting, I'll give it a read. Otherwise, I know majority of the stuff that is happening in esports, so I don't actually. But she is putting in a lot of efforts to understand the whole industry. She is always coming up with multiple new ideas. When you hear it for the first time, you might think, "अरे यार, क्या ये मतलब ये idea इतना कुछ चलेगा नहीं." But when you start working on it, then you realize that it has its own IP. So she was the one who pushed me into having UN Community Cups, and after I did the season 1, I had that hunger to do season 2. After doing season 3, I have that hunger to do season 3. Season 2, I had that hunger to do season 3. So these are some of them, star ideas that she has given. So
great. So big shout out to all the parents who are watching
yes,
and who might watch this. That you should
in future,
just push your kid. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So follow up
Don't push your
question.
kid. Make sure that you are supporting him well. Sensibly.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So
Sensible support is much more appreciated.
I would like to ask you, Sharang, if Aparna would have been present, then I would have asked her. But as she's not here, I would like to ask you if in especially in today's like not today, but we can say like 5 to 10 years ago, gaming was not considered to be a viable career option.
Hmm.
It is still not for some parents and stuff like that. So what do you have to say to the parents basically regarding this?
I mean, they are right in their own. Like, out of the millions of players who are playing a certain game, there is only this one person who are in the top pro competitor. It is similar to all the traditional sports.
Mm,
Like in cricket, there is only one Tendulkar, there is only one Virat Kohli, and there is only Indian team is only made of 11 players. and the other players are just aspiring players. So that is one thing, is like, if your child is really showing the passion or the dedication that he wants to grind it out, you have to be smart enough to give him a small opportunity. You don't have to support him blindly. You have to make sure that, like, if you are investing, if you are believing in him, you have to make sure that he's taking the right path, and giving him 1 year or 2 year to achieve his dream, or at least try to stand on that platform that he's aiming at. you know it's very important to give him the support. It should not be a blind support. Like I said, it should be a very sensible support. You need to be keeping check if he is doing the right thing or the not, or the wrong thing. You should make sure that he's putting in the number of hours, he's prioritizing his studies as well, because education is always going to be a safety net. If you do not
Yeah.
achieve good in esports, it is a very competitive field. Okay, it's much more competitive than fighting for those IIT seats or those AI seats. you know and
I agree, man.
at least you can give some donation and get into that, but gaming mein nahi hota hai, esports mein.
नहीं
So
नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल
you
नहीं.
need to actually show your metal that, okay, you are good enough, you are in that tier 1, only then you have a future over here. Otherwise it's a very hard decision. So to all the parents out there, if you are supporting them, it is a very good thing. But make sure you're very much aware of what you're supporting. Make sure that you take out the time, you invest into it, your child, understand what he's actually trying to do, give him your life experiences, teach him stuff like that. Of course they won't appreciate it now, but down the line they'll start understanding the value of that. And make sure you go through the contracts, whoever is there,
Mhm.
so that they understand the severity of the contract, and don't take it lightly. That's all.
Great. So, I would ask this question because there are a lot of audience and there are a lot of kids in my connection who just, there's only one struggle that they face in their mindset. Yeah. So they only feel that, they don't have their parents' support if they
I
want
mean,
to,
you have to prove something, right? Like, even if you're
Exactly.
asking your parent to support you in achieving a cricket, dream of representing India or something, you need to be in the school team. You need to be in your university or college or your, town or district team somewhere, to believe, to make that, actual, belief into your parents that, okay, he's trying to go somewhere. You cannot just play for the fun of it or the heck of it, and then, certainly ask your parents to start supporting you. You need to have that
I
long
think
vision. Yeah.
sorry, I think there is one more point which we often overlook, because shayad somewhere computer games and esports probably is a little more looked down upon more than the traditional sports.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
agree.
when kids start playing games, तो वो पहले से ही एकदम ऐसा हो जाता, मुंह बन जाता है सेट, अच्छा तुम कंप्यूटर गेम खेल रहे हो. Maybe that is one mindset which needs a bit of change, because if they are open to it, if the parents are open to it, they would understand that this is still a career, this is a good career, and there are intelligent people playing. They're not they're not really dumb people playing. These kids
Okay.
have got talent. These
Yeah,
kids are intelligent, they know exactly what they're doing. And that is something where then also one more advice to the parents is, if your kids are really showing promise or potential, please look at the team with whom your kid is talking to, because it all depends. It's in a growing stage. A
Hmm.
16,
Yeah.
17, 18-year-old, they are still in a growing stage. They don't know much about the world and all. So if the team is good, if the people are good, if the manager is good, if the surrounding is good, then it has got a better chance for him to grow as a person. Because a career is what, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years at
Yeah.
most. Then after
And
that, what?
yep. And there's one more thing that people right now, currently majority of the esports players look at, is the salary. They are not in it for the vision of the organization, for the vision of the company. They are just saying, अरे ये मेरे को 30,000 दे रहा है, वो मेरे को 40 दे रहा
Mm.
है. You know, these type of players, somewhat, I tend to stay away because they show that actual this thing. Okay, their commitment is not towards the game, or not towards being the number one with the current set of members, and their vision is more towards where will I get the extra zeros from in my bank account. So these are, of course, there are multiple instances saying that अरे मुझे ज़रूरत है पैसे की, I'm from a poor family, I'm from a poor background. Of course, all of these are just excuses that you give to yourself, saying kind of answering your actual true greed. If
Yeah.
you are really from a poor family or a poor background, you will put in the extra effort into proving that
Exactly.
you are coming onto the topmost level, rather than jumping from one organization to another organization. And I've seen this in the Indian esports, what, for the past 2.5 years, has been majority of the cases. There have been players who have stuck with us for a longer duration. There have been players who jumped ship, and the players that who have jumped ship do not have a favorable ending, till
Mhm.
now. And we just hope that players understand that, okay, when you are signing up with an organization, make sure you believe in the vision that they're trying to set.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's very
and
important.
put in the efforts towards achieving that vision. Don't just sign it for the sake of your paycheck. Make sure that you are spending your time with the right team, putting the 100% of the effort, realizing the vision of the team as well. And if you find elements into your team that are not favorable towards your growth, you just let the management know. Instead of just fighting it amongst yourselves, be brave. People will say that you are being a rat or stuff like that. I've seen that players are afraid to saying कि अरे यार वो बंदा dedicated नहीं है, he's not putting in the
Yeah.
efforts. But you need to take that step. Okay, dude, I'm putting in 100%. I want the other five players, or other four players also to take 100%.
Right.
So
Right, but
that is,
Sharang, I would also Sharang and Rana both. I would ask that uh, paycheck is also important
yes,
for, especially in
yes, yes,
today's
yes,
world.
yes.
So for those
Absolutely.
who are actually in need, and they actually want to pursue their career full time into gaming and
Hmm.
esports, competitive gaming especially. So what tips and suggestions do you have for them? Like how should they figure it out?
So see,
So
when
because
any
they
any
can,
organ, yeah, sorry.
yeah, because they cannot just stop doing everything and just sit and play games for 10 hours. So is
Yep,
there
that
any
that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
education needs to be a safety net. Okay, there is no other alternative, or else you have your parents' business or family business that is running. Then that is your safety net. But
Mhm.
otherwise, you if you are in it, you have to make sure that every option that you take has you need to consider its repercussions, and need to be very much aware of what will be your plan of action if that does not go well. And when you're taking up gaming, it is a very competitive field, like I said, and you need to be in the top 1%. And to be in the top 1% is a very, very strong this thing. You need a strong drive, you need a strong commitment towards the project that you're trying to do. You need to be making sure that if the next guy is putting in 10 hours, I need to be putting in 12 hours. If the next guy is putting 12 hours, I
True.
need to be putting in 13 hours too. There needs to be one thing that is going to differentiate you from the millions of others. And that just does not mean that you blindly keep playing. Okay, putting in 12 hours, 13 hours does not mean you just play for blindly 12 or 13 hours. You can just play for 2 hours, and watch
Mhm.
the pro players, understand what they are thinking, what they are trying to do, reanalyze some of your games, think about what mistakes you did, talk it with your friends, talk it out with, connect with the players who are better than you, get their suggestions, get their feedback. That is what the real effort is. It's not just playing, keep grinding, keep playing blindly 13 hours, 13 games a day to 20 games a day, stuff like that. You need to make sure that you're learning what you're playing. It's very similar to cricket. Just playing with your building or schoolmates is not going to make you learn anything. You need to
Mhm.
kind of look at those sessions, training sessions. You need to make work on your weak points. You need to start recording yourselves on how your movement is on the pitch and stuff like that. So that is, you need to put in a lot of effort.
There is
Yeah.
one more thing which esports gives you is accessibility.
Yes.
So you can really reach out to people. So one suggestion I would have is network with the best of players and try and watch them, because esports, unlike traditional sports, so you really cannot network with a Messi or a Ronaldo, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can't tell them.
correct.
But you can do that bit with esports. You can somewhere connect and somewhere that get in the circle. Try and with the best of people, you would learn the best. If you be with people who don't really play well, or just beginners, or playing for time pass, then you would tend to be amongst them. If you try and if you want to up your level, then you need to play with the or be with the people who are better than you, so you don't have to be afraid of accepting that fact, and be it. So accessibility is big and it's easy, and it's easier than the traditional sports. So I suggest is try and find out who are better and get into that group or get into that zone. uh, of course, it's and then you prove your skills and show your skills and things like that.
Yeah, but Rana, I agree that they should connect, but we all know that LinkedIn is one place that connects businesses and entrepreneurs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for gamers, and there might be some platforms, but there is not a dedicated something. If I am not aware, please pardon me if
Yeah,
I'm not aware.
there is no centralized forum where you can find
Yeah.
players where you can chat it out. AFK Gaming was there, and we really loved it. But I think they changed their structure of their website, and it's no
Mhm.
longer a forum. It's more of a uh,
News
you
and
know,
entertainment. Yeah.
yeah, news and entertainment and stuff like that. But there is an urgent requirement for a forum where you can talk to these giants, where you can learn, where you can just register yourself and be part of the
Exactly.
Indian esports scene.
So
And
yeah.
that's missing right now.
So just to add on to what Sabya was saying, it is a task, like what Rana also said. It is a task to get in connect with those giants. But what we have made is we have our own Discord server where we have all of our players engaging with the fans out there. They just have to make sure that they tag the right player, the person who wants, whom they want to interact with. uh, have any questions, they can drop it to them. They'll reply it at the earliest as soon as they see the message. And if they want to have one-on-one sessions also, they can kind of DM them and have a conversation with them. We've made sure we've kind of asked all of our players to be very social media savvy. We asked them that, okay, you guys had a very hard time coming to what you have. Make sure that the next person does not have the same hardships. Make sure that you make their life a bit easier. Whatever you guys have learned, give them, and snippet about what, don't make the life easy, but make sure that it is much more tradable. you know and just hope that any doubts, anything that is hampering any of the aspiring players, they can always reach out to the Discord servers that we have, to our Facebook DMs, to our Instagram DMs. We've had multiple messages, like even in my DMs, I've had multiple people, asking me, "Ki bhai team mein le lo, team mein le lo," but it does not work like that. You need to kind of be at that top for us to notice you. That is the harsh reality. We are not someone who is just gonna pick up a player from the lower tiers of the play. You need to come to that top tier, and need to showcase your real skills, and then only we can give you a platform. We are not gonna just give platform to each and everyone out there. you know
Yeah, I just like to share a small story. So I used to play a lot of football, and in my 11th standard, you guys must be knowing Bangalore FC, right? The ISL team that
yes.
plays.
Yeah, yeah.
So they used to train in the Bangalore Football Stadium, which is very near to my school. So before my exams, we had some prep time, and I went over there and I just told them, I was a center back. I used to play football, so I was like, "Sir, I want a tryout. आप मेरे को खिला लो." And there was this juniors ka coach, their reserve side coach. He's like, "Do you think this is a fucking Sunday park where you can just come in and ask for a tryout?" And then I realized ki, it's very important to go through the right channels and use the proper way of reaching the top. You just can't ask for a tryout like this. I know it's hard to connect and find the right people, and even there is still some ambiguity in esports or in general traditional sports, but we're trying our very best to clear that out for people.
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
for people in Bombay, just on a lighter note, people in Bombay, they can visit Reckoning Cafe, Reckoning E Zone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
We are
hey,
also.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So we
Yeah,
are also
that's
thinking of having multiple activities in the future wherein our players will drop by the gaming lounge that we have, interact with the casual gaming audience, give them a session or two on how to improve the games that they are currently playing, and have some fun maps with them as well. So we are looking to establish ourselves from the grassroots level. We are just not looking at having all of this generic on air audience. We want interact with the grassroots as well. So that is our main motto towards this, having
which is one
this.
of our
Yeah.
goals of being a thought leader
Yes.
in
Okay.
aspects. So
Great. So a question from that, guys. So for all those players, aspiring players who have watched the show this far and know what it is to be like with Reckoning Esports, and are thinking of maybe I can join Reckoning Esports. So I want to know, guys, how do you hire a new player for your roster or something, and what is the process if they want to apply?
So it is something that actually we do not want to reveal the whole of it,
Ah,
because
okay.
then everyone is going to
It's a
come up
very long
with
process.
yeah. But in a very short ways, it's a very
Yeah.
long drawn out process. Okay, it's not something that we just go around, look at players, just pick them up. Okay, acha khel rahe, uta lete waisa. So
Mhm.
we put in the effort. So for Dota 2, I personally make sure we at least have trial period with any of the players that we take on board. Okay, before taking on board, before the trial process itself, we have a long scouting process, which is somewhere around 3 to 4 months, where we make sure, okay, the player is the player playing competitively, is the player putting the number of hours in his solo practice, is the player putting in number of his hours into creating uh, a new meta out of the games that is he trying to do something new, or it's just same thing he's copying from someone else. We make sure the players who are we're looking at are dedicated, are someone more driven towards the game and not towards anything else, and
Mm.
it takes at least for us to finalize onto a team or a player, it takes at least 5 to 6 months. That is the minimum that we take. It's not something that we open a registration form and people come up and fill it in and stuff like that. So you need to be at the top. You need to be at the top. You need to make sure that you're playing tournaments. You need to make sure that you are different. Okay, we don't want to support players who are doing the same thing over and over and again. We want players who are fearless of doing something different. Doesn't matter if they fail. But if you're trying to do something different, then yeah, you're up. You're one step up already. And that is what I say to all of my players who are there in Reckoning also. Don't be afraid about doing something fearless, doing something very unique. Okay, even if it makes you lose, it's okay. You learn from the loss. If you're learning, only then we are moving ahead. And we've our Dota 2 team, our Valorant team, and it's always there is this thing keeps coming back. Many of our games, our tournament games, have been where we have been in the winning position and we've lost the game.
Oh.
You know, and whenever people or the fans keep come and ask me, "Arey, arey, kya kar rahe hai?" I always feel कि यार, this is the reckoning way. This is the way that we learn. It's okay कि हम लोग हार रहे हैं, चलता है, होता रहता है. It's
Yeah,
oh,
even
that
we,
is thing.
Yeah.
Even see, even in Dota, we used to play very safe during our practice games, but in tournament games, we used to go crazy and do all this weird shit, and that used to make us lose the game. And then we used to sit down and we used to wonder, अरे क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग? मतलब मैं बोल रहा हूँ प्रैक्टिस में ये सब ट्राई करो ना. Why you have to do this in tournaments and stuff? I was like, then I was like, this is that thing that is in the DNA. कि भाई कोई भी any player who comes over here does that same shit. You know, before coming over, he's all safe and very wary about what his steps is taking. But he comes in reckoning, he does all kinds of shenanigans, loses the game. But the positive thing is that he learns from it, and that is what we are looking at. Ki bhai, chalo, you've done something fearless, you've done something very unique. You got a hit on your chin, but it's okay. You make sure that you stay away from that in future.
I agree, Sharag. Especially in games like Dota 2, you need to be creative. I
Yes.
mean, we all have seen, the Pudge and Shen hooks, the legendary combo.
Yes.
So it,
So
so
yeah,
it,
I would
it's
just like to say one thing that Sharon was talking about. He said that the scouting process takes 3 to 4 months, but the results come 6 months after that. So
Yeah.
effectively, it becomes a year-long process where you have done your scouting, you have done your research. They have started making a team plan and how do you want to play, and after 6 months, you see the results start flowing. There are people who are like, "Ye, 2 mahine mein, we're not getting the results. It's not
Hmm.
working out. We want a way out of it." No, that's not how it works. You got to stick it out, grind it out, and see where things are going wrong and work on them. So that's what we make sure that this happens, that the player knows that it's a long process, but it's a rewarding in the long term. it's
Yep.
it's, it's not a short term thing. That's what we
It's
make
it's
sure we
like people think just getting attached with the star players are going to get you victories. Of course they are going to get you victories, but it's all very short term. 6 months down the line, reckoning is gonna come and you're gonna beat you anyhow. So it's better, uh, you know, you grind it with the right people, and then you win. That is all that makes it worthwhile. It's like today, if you have a fight, that is going to be on your mind the whole day. But when 6 months down the line, when you win or you lift the trophy, all of this will be a very rewarding. There will be this small incidents, all episodes that you look back and you will start laughing. अरे यार अपन इसके लिए झगड़ रहे थे क्या यार. So even like there's this thing with our CS:GO team. When we launched our CS:GO division, I think we launched it in 2019. uh, I personally met the captain. I asked before taking him on board. I said that I want to meet you first. If I don't meet you, then the deal is not going to happen. I need to meet you first. So he came by, dropped into our gaming lounge. We had a conversation for 2 hours, tried to understand what he actually wants to do, and then started, believing in him. Okay, okay, this guy knows. Okay, this is the guy who I want to be associated with. This is where Reckoning needs to be associated with. Okay, he is the person that we can build the team around. And then we keep on finding new players. We go around, have tryouts, and we never had, as soon as Reckoning Esports started, we never had a strong, list of results, because that time we had the wrong team. But the players believed. Okay, I believed in the vision that okay, we want to be one of the top two teams in India, and we made the necessary changes. Some of those changes were very heavy to take, but we made it, and all of that has given us rewards. Now we are at a place that couple of one player has been with us from the start, from CS:GO division, and the one player who had joined us in somewhere around December 2019 is still with us now, and now they have shifted to Valorant. It's a very exciting journey that they've taken, and the thing is that they believe in it. They believe in the Reckoning vision, and that is why they are sticking with us. That is why they are here. That is why they are going to make sure they are going to be here for the next coming XYZ years. And that is something that we try to inculcate. This is not just a company. This is more of a family where, if one guy falls down, there are other 10 people to, pick him back up.
Mhm.
So, yes.
So that's about player. I mean, there is no hack or anything that you
Yes.
can apply to get into
Yes.
the team. But is there any way that koi limelight may possibly they can come into your eyes and
Sure. Yes. Yes.
any not I would not say shortcut, but some way that you can maybe spot them.
See, there are multiple players who have come into the limelight, and it's only through the games that they've played in the tournaments. So
Okay.
either they might be facing Reckoning, or we might be facing them in the next round, or stuff like that. Or there is, our competitors having a strong time against that team. Then that team takes up my interest. uh, there's this two or three teams from Hyderabad, which had down south, which we had hard games against in Valorant. So
Mhm.
certain players of those team, piqued an interest for me. Okay, wow, okay, so these guys are actually quite good. We can definitely have an initial conversation with them, try to build a youth academy kind of setup with them, so that there is this whole influx and the knowledge share happening from the main team to the second team, and there is a reserve pool of players that we can bank on if the first team does not
Mhm.
work out well. So there you need to keep playing in tournaments. That is one thing you need to, if you are going, there is this thought process, people think that okay, अरे यार टूर्नामेंट जाऊंगा तो टाइम वेस्ट होएगा, गंदे प्लेयर्स के साथ क्यों खेलूं.
Mm.
That's not the right thought process that you need to be having. You need to be कुछ भी मिल जाए ना, any tournament, any local tournament, let it be of 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, make sure you go play that, get some kind of
That's how
experience,
you.
try your best, even if your team is not doing, try your best. Make sure that you showcase, then there'll be a team better than the current team. Then that is how you kind of start your journey. That is how you come into the whole limelight. You need to be, playing competitions. There needs to be, you just cannot be saying कि अरे यार time waste होगा. No, you need to make sure that you keep playing competition. Only then organizations will start taking notice of you. If you're gonna just keep playing your solo MMR and stuff, individual thing, a lone wolf kind of a thing, which is majority of the people are attracted with that theory. Yeah, I am that lone wolf kind of a guy. It just does not work. You
नहीं
need
नहीं I think that doesn't work.
you need to keep playing in tournaments. That is the only way. That is the only way.
I remember when I had that thought process कि when I reached 3K MMR once in my life, I
Hmm.
reached 3 to 3.5K something, and then I decided, okay, solo में मैं फाड़ दूंगा, I'll make it in solo. Then I decided to increase my MMR, solo MMR from 3K to 6K as a goal रखा है. It
Hmm.
ended up being 1500 the solo MMR, and it went that way.
Right.
So solo is the most difficult thing to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is definitely difficult, but if you want to get notice of organizations, no, your
Mm.
solo skills are of course going to be a
Yeah.
factor, but how well you're gelling with the team is going to be the biggest factor,
It's
and
a
how
team
well.
thing. It's a team
Yes,
thing. So it's
Mhm.
not an individual thing. So that's
yes, that is it. If you just know how to shoot the ball and you don't know how to dribble, you're not of use to
Exactly.
any football team. That's one thing. So you need to keep playing in tournaments, gain whatever experience, make sure you give in 100%.
Mhm.
And of course we have 4 to 5 people working on as scouts for us. Even the managers of the teams, keep an eye on the up and coming players and start creating a whole list of players that we can in future look into. So
Yeah.
you need to
Perfect.
keep playing it on. So the main motto for them is जो भी टूर्नामेंट खेलता है उनका ही नाम लिस्ट में रहेगा वैसा. That's it.
Mm. Hardcore grinding
Yes, yes.
wala thing. Okay, so that was for the aspiring players. But अगर किसी को as an employee reckoning की company के साथ they want to get associated and work for the company, not as a player but maybe something else. So
वो ज्यादा
he's
मुश्किल है, वो ज्यादा मुश्किल है.
अच्छा.
प्लेयर
Okay.
प्लेयर ही कर लो, प्लेयर ही कर लो.
Okay. And why is that?
Because I don't know, but I feel that I get disappointed at the smallest of things. तो
अच्छा.
वो हो जाता है तो बाद में then it becomes very hard to keep hold on to that. So for me, whenever I scrutinize, I kind of it's a very tough scrutiny for me. Like one wrong step, misstep, even though it is the lack of experience for him, I kind of put a black mark on him. Okay, bhai, ye kuch, even if it is the wrong question, kind of puts a black mark कि यार ये बंदे ने एक क्वेश्चन सोचा भी कैसे. ये वैसा.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
But
I
don't
mean,
you
with
think
players,
is
I'm
yeah, I
sorry.
mean,
trying?
with
Yeah.
players, it's you know, it's a loss or a win. But for an employee, it's much harder. The small things and the decisions matter so much more. I think that's what he's coming to.
Yes, and he needs to be the street smart kind of a kid. He need not be coming back to me कि भाई अरे ये problem है इसका क्या solution दूँ. What is
Hmm.
the solution with this thing, that thing, that thing? You need to be smart enough and understand the industry smart enough to understand what is the solution. Solution is always going to be in front of you. Just need to be smart enough to take that.
Right.
So even the managers that we have, of course they came in completely unaware of what actually their job profile is going to be and stuff like that. But I've made sure that they understand even the smallest of things. Now, there's this one instance that happened, I think a couple of weeks back, where we were looking at graphic artists or video artists, and managers had come up with three or four list of players, four list of people that can join us and help us out. But they failed to kind of ask them. The most primary of the question was, do you work on PC or mobile? Okay, and they forgot to ask them.
Oh
Okay,
man.
and the people who had came to us were all people who used to do the graphic things on mobile.
Shit.
Okay, and
Okay.
basically people who do it on mobile are basically 14 to 15-year-old kids. Okay, who
Ah,
do not actually understand the whole idea behind esports. They are just someone who have played mobile games, have got hooked onto it, and have started designing stuff like that. Of course, they have a good history, a good future in front of them, but that is not what we're looking at currently. And I hope that they'll after that 10-15 minute conversation with the GFS artist, I think my managers learned a lot more on how they have to interview the people who we are going to be looking on taking on board. So yep, वैसा है. So managers also learning a lot of things,
great.
and
Rana,
they
did you faced this issue with Sharang initially? I mean, you don't belong from esports industry. You didn't belong. So
No, I did not feel such thing. But Charang, you are the better person to answer this question, yeah. Because I was a new guy, so you are a better person to
uh,
answer this.
no,
बोले
the thing with Rana was there was always, since he has come from sports marketing background, which is a traditional sports. This is something that we lacked in the company that time. That okay, we do not have someone who is from the marketing. How do we market ourselves more? So
hmm,
whatever he made us express his views, it was, for me, it was something new all the time. Okay, then I used to start incorporating what he was trying to say into esports way, and then we used to start working on towards that. And that is something that we've is much more valuable than people coming from esports
hmm,
itself asking questions about esports. And with Rana, I don't think so. I mean, there might be one or two instances, but I don't, if I am not remembering, but then it might be very small things which actually does not require this thing. But
yeah.
it has always been very smooth ride. I mean, whatever Rana came up with always fit in the philosophy that we have. and it was something, our philosophy kept evolving much more after each and every day. So that is something that, kudos to him, that he brought in completely different perspective on how you have to build a team, how you have to build a whole campaign. And with the UN Community Cup, his major involvement being in that, stuff like that.
Yeah, great, great to hear that. So, guys, next thing is, I want to ask this from my side is, uh, you guys have covered, I mean, a lot of grounds recently, and you know, as I love learning from other people's mistakes and stuff like that. So, what are the major achievements and mistakes that you faced as a team, as a whole team reckoning, in your career, and maybe we can learn from that, maybe the major struggles and achievements basically.
I think then both of them have to go first again. नहीं तो मेरा तो हो जाएगा तो टाइम लग जाएगा.
Mm, no, so let's. I mean, I would put it on the way we are going as a team. It is not really a mistake thing. It's more of a see. One key point was we were kind of busy in their own worlds. Like Sharang was little extremely tied up with the gaming section of it. Okay, where we were talking about the brand part, and Sharon could not devote that time. So because he was busy in scouting and preparing the team part of it, okay, the gaming part of it, that
Yeah.
gaming part of the business. So the interactions have been, it's not as much as we wanted it to happen, because that one of the learnings has been because we did not have the right people at the right place, because he had to double up on many things. Okay, so many things he had to develop, and looking after designs also, looking after the team also, and looking after the gaming part also, and cafe also. So a lot of things he had to develop. So one of the things that we learned is that keeping the right people at the right place. With Sabya coming in, that has considerably reduced on the burden has reduced on Sharon. So the things going 21 onwards is what we are expecting to be a much more structured way of going ahead. That is one point. Second point being, now the planning will be far more better
Yes.
than what it was in the earlier days. So now we are going to have a dedicated time spent on planning about 2-3 weeks in advance. So that kind of planning stages we are getting into. So we are mentally prepared. We are kind of in that zone right now. And yeah, 21 onwards you'll see that thing. So what has happened in the past is probably we can avoid, because
Definitely.
it takes time for people to evolve and an organization to grow. So the fact that we have reached this level of an Indo Southeast Asian team, so if you call ourselves and what is Reckoning, well, we and I introduced Reckoning in the international markets as an Indo Southeast Asian organization,
Okay.
which itself is a big thing, because you don't really hear that, right? You hear an Indian esports team or Indian esports organization, or a Korean or an Indonesian, a Filipino, that kind of stuff. But when you say that an Indo Southeast Asian organization, then that brings in so many cultures together,
It does.
that
Yeah.
itself, and it opens up the market. So as a marketing point of view, as a brand's presence point of view, from everywhere, so it just broadens up the thing. And that's one area that so we have come a very big journey so far in a short span of time. I think Sharing has done a super job in bringing this team to that level. We just need to grow from here. We need to consolidate and grow from here. So I think we can avoid the question of what has happened in the past. The fact that we have come to this level, it's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think going onwards is what we should focus on now.
Definitely. But for us audience, we
Need
like,
masala. Yes, yes.
yeah.
No, I mean, what I meant to say was there are too many mistakes to count. Let's not talk about it.
I mean, this industry is so unstructured that mistakes are bound to happen. You don't know what's the right way. So करोगे तो ही मालूम चलेगा कि ये गलत है, ये सही है. You find like 100 ways of doing it wrong, and then finally the 101st way is the correct way of doing stuff. And fortunately, unfortunately, we are the same. We have learned it the hard way, and so that's how we tag ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So we won't really discuss mistakes, but it's more like the struggles that you faced and so on. So that's what I meant with
So we
mistake.
had
No,
we
no,
had a lot of struggles. We had a lot of struggles.
mm,
We had people dropping out in between tournaments. We had people leaving the team in a time where the team is actually going strong. So there have been multiple struggles. Even with the international rosters that we had, you know, the ending wasn't as smooth as we had expected it. Uh, but all of these struggles have given us a new direction. I've always made sure that okay, reckoning hasn't stopped over there. It has always kind of pivoted towards a better path, and for that we are all always kind of grateful. Okay, from this situation, okay, we have lost at this point, but we haven't lost the whole battle.
Yeah.
We still have a strong opportunity to make our case, strong opportunity to win the remaining battles, and the victory is going to be ours, kind of a thing. uh, there have been instances where I had lost my vision, kind of track on what we are supposed to do, because the hit was emotional hit was quite strong, but it was always for a span of 1 or 2 days where I was kind of uh, how would I say, kind of distorted completely. But
Mm.
within the next 2 days, with both my mom and my dad being around me, being those pillars of wisdom, it has always been easier. That that hearing those words, कि अरे होता है, ये होता है, वो होता है,
Mm.
you learn from this, you learn from that. Make sure you don't repeat it. Those are words that, okay, yeah, that is something that I need to be okay in future. I have to make sure I don't do this stuff, kind of a thing. So
Right.
oh, that is something every organization has to come up with. You have to get past the failures. If you keep dwelling on your failures, no, you are not going to be moving anywhere. So that's what.
Right. Great. So I think we have covered a lot about Reckoning Esports, and
Yes.
I think we are pretty much aware about the story behind Reckoning. So before we wrap up, I would like to quickly go over through some questions regarding the overall esports industry in India. So guys, what do you think about the Indian esports industry now and 10 years back? Uh,
I think 10 years back there was not much of an industry. There was much of just watching the West and the Chinese side, what they were doing, the Koreans and stuff. Off very late, I think the esports scene has grown. With the likes of Paytm, New Gen, and other stuff. Like 3-4 years or something. I would say this has been a major development, and of course, COVID has helped out a lot in that. But I think 10 years pehle there was not much. I think Sharang, Sharang, you would know the best because you have researched this industry the
Mhm.
most. And 10 साल पहले मैं 13 साल का था तो मुझे तब कुछ मालूम नहीं था.
No, so 10 years back, I mean, there was nothing as esports. It was only gaming, at least in India for me. And esports is something that came with passing of time. India has started picking up with space in the past, from I think from 2018 or from late 2017. And it started with the PC games, and then PUBG Mobile pushed it to an completely new horizon altogether. So since India is a mobile first country, PUBG Mobile just you know put whole esports industry into multiple strides. I mean, what we are expecting now, we could have been predicting it that 2-3 years later it would have happened. but what we are seeing is we are seeing it completely new. And the next 1.5 or 2 years, we'll see a completely new India. In terms of esports, we'll have multiple teams representing the country and the region in multiple international tournaments, and we will have our own strong esports ecosystem where, as anyone who wants to be part of the esports will have its own place. They'll have multiple esports organizations coming out. We'll have a strong competitive environment, wherein we'll have multiple teams, multiple players playing against each other, creating a strong sense of, there'll be something what the football industry is right now globally, and that is what we are. Esports as an industry is also moving towards that. Creating a fan base with a club is something that we're looking at. So yeah.
Sharing is very optimistic. I unfortunately am not that optimistic right now. I am just being a little more cautious because esports industry is. I am looking from an outside point of view, not
Yeah.
from because Sharing is a very inside thing, so he knows it from that gamer point of view. I'm looking from the audience point of view because I've
Exactly.
been interacting with so many people, and what I can see it's an unstructured industry right now. Okay, now there are only barring a few teams who are known to people. There are not many teams in the reckoning kind of zone. So what really is going to happen? I predict is what first of all what we need is a structure. We really
Yeah.
need to people need to come up to as what is esports. There are a lot of questions with brand ask कि यार esports होता क्या है? So someone needs to answer those questions. Yeah, thus there's some way of some structured way of giving out answers to what really consists of an esport. So what kind of titles? So then and that's one thing which India needs. Number one. Number two is mobile gaming. Now PUBG had exploded in a manner which I think one of the reports which suggested about 80% of Indian esports is consisting of PUBG
Yes.
of the esports. Somewhere like that, I read some report like that, and that is primarily because of the free or easy internet accessibility and free cheap internet, and people could get on the mobiles and they could play onto it. But that to me is while it is good in one aspect, to me
Mhm.
it has kind of made it a very skewed industry. एक ही तरह चलता गया वो. So the
Mm.
other games really could not develop that much or could not get that kind of mileage. So every little boy would want to hold up a mobile and play PUBG. So they never really had the chance of exploring a Valorant or a other game or get sit down, Call of Duty mobile or other mobile games. They could never explore it because सबसे easiest is PUBG and then started playing it. So
Right.
that thing has happened uh, possibly, and just possibly, I don't know, I'm being a little radical in this case. Possibly the ban has helped up to grow the industry in a much more structured manner, probably opening up more titles. And shayad that would give opening to more titles coming up in India and consciously developing contests or tournaments for that other titles, and there probably you can see more teams coming up in different spheres. And then over the next 2 years you can see some kind of structure happening, one organizing committee or one a federation or something like that probably developing in the next 2 years. And once that develops, you can see a lot of schools coming up teaching esports or academies teaching esports or things like that might just come up in the next 2 to 5 years. And then you would have some kind of structured or semblance, and then that thing would go on. So I think for the next 2 to 5 years is where you can see a kind of moving towards a direction. अभी तक तो like an electron or a proton, it just kept on going on, इधर उधर सब जा रहा है, सब लोग हो रहा है. Now you would probably have a charged electricity and moving towards one direction.
Yeah, there
Shaya,
is a
this
very
is
high requirement for a regulatory body that, take cares of these organization of the players. And because abhi kya hota hai, anyone is coming up with a team, they just get some funding, kal ko kuch chala nahi, they just shut shop and they're gone. This hurts the whole ecosystem ki, there is some brand that funded this team, and after 2 3 months they have shut shop and they have left. So this puts a whole image of failure in front of the brands ki it is a loss making industry.
And then the whole thing becomes skeptical.
हाँ, and then they're
यार
like,
मतलब
अभी वो optic gaming के साथ जो हुआ, whatever word.exe and stuff that happened, that has put a very black dot on the Indian esports scene, you know. So there needs to be a regulatory body that looks after the organization, that looks after the players, that, you know, ensures that everything is in place and everything is in order. Everything needs to go through them and stuff, and we are severely lacking that right now. So let's see if, you know, the government takes any things, or, you know, the giants that are
infra-
now leading,
yeah.
you know, they take,
Infrastructure.
yeah, so they make sure that these things come into play, you know,
And
and that'll
then
be
of
the
course
start.
then of course the people like you need to tell people what esports is.
Hmm.
Yeah, हम लोग तो ठीक है, we are from the industry, we probably would do our bit, but people like you who have got mass following, Akshay, and I'm talking to you because you know if you and your community would probably tell people what really esports is, how do you deal with it, how do you play it, how do you watch it, where do you watch it, then the audience streaming, and then things would probably, but that's where everybody needs to come together and grow. That's
Exactly.
one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Right.
think there's a question in the chat, like, does ESFI count as an Indian regulatory body? So I think
Yeah.
Sharang can answer that. You know, like, there is a kind
Esports Federation of India.
yeah, it's not a regulatory body, and, you know, Sharang, I think, you know, if you could say
Yeah,
something.
it's not as far as I know, it's not a regulatory body in India, but it's a private limited company, but I mean, it has been associated with the International Esports Federation. So it's still, nothing concrete or nothing. You would say, okay, ye hai, wohi hai. So
It's
still
not
in
there
the
yet.
air. Yeah, it's not still there. So we just need something much more concrete, which the government of India recognizes. That is much more important. Nahi to anyone can come up with anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That discussion, makes me really ask this question. Is the industry sustainable as of this moment?
Yeah. Except for the competitive players, that too, even the 1%, I don't think so. It's something that you should look into. At least
Okay, like,
till
you know,
next
uh,
1.5 years, maybe it improves a lot.
like, I wanna pitch this, counter question to your question, is that how many teams that you saw like 3-4 years back, how many of them are still running operations
Yeah.
except Rec?
None.
Entity one or two, that's all. I mean, out of,
Yeah, maybe I remember one or two something,
yeah.
So
not more.
that's, so, like, it's
That's
Exactly.
viable now, but, someone needs to do the hard work. Someone needs to grind it out, and, the results will start showing soon.
And
Again,
more often than not, people have a tendency of running rather than walking.
Yep.
So in esports, they take they run, they jump, they think that probably one win, two wins, and they would play in the big league and all that. It doesn't happen like that. It's a
yeah,
sustained process. So that process needs to be slow. Build a steady, build a team, build a sustainable ecosystem within, at least within your organization. Build a sustainable ecosystem. Then you move ahead and
right.
try and that's
And I think government also plays some kind of role in promoting this kind of things.
yeah, absolutely, it
Government has.
does. It does, and then they should look at it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Indian government is really okay with this
I
for
mean,
now.
if he has banned a certain game title, I think it is much more aware that what is happening. But of course, I mean, going on something that is going behind is actually there is some kind of structure that is being set up by all the organizations in India of creating, not official, but something at least there needs to be mutual respect within all the organizations. So yeah, so that is
Yes,
something a step forward, and let's see if it goes somewhere.
perfect. Let's just hope we get this. We get
Yep.
something
Yeah, I
going.
think I put a very grim question in front of everyone, and now
ऐसा
everyone
नहीं है.
thinks that
No,
esports.
no, no. I think you're right. In fact, I was about to ask Sharing Akshay that probably next we let's do this chat about in 2 years down the line, and we all come back together and see then where are we standing,
Yeah,
and what is the industry, and the same question come up in 2 years down. Then maybe that become our starting question.
Exactly. Maybe we can have, again another episode with
Yeah,
Yep,
members in 1 or 2 years.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
definitely.
That would be
Because we
great.
are here to stay. So
Yeah.
Of course, man. Of course. Even if this show doesn't works out, I'll definitely be in contact. I
We'll
mean, you
drink
guys.
chai in real life. No worries.
Yeah.
absolutely, man, absolutely.
All right, guys. I think Oh man, I didn't expect it to be 2.5 hours long, but I think the conversation was really great. I didn't felt like it was 2 hours. And so, one last question for all of you guys before we leave. This is the last one, I promise. Just I want you know your 2 cents to the audience. Just some message or suggestion or tip or anything you have from each one of you. Maybe two-liner or something that would work for the audience and to the esports community as a whole.
So, I mean, for the esports audience, uh, there are multiple elements who are putting in the efforts. Make sure that you respect all of those efforts. Support for not just one team, for all the esport teams out there which are trying to make a mark in the industry. Let's not hate on anyone. Creating controversy, bashing someone is not the way to build an ecosystem. Let's be a bit more positive. Let's approach think that okay, any sport organization coming out of India is your own thing.
Hmm.
It's not
Right.
ये तो मेरे दुश्मन का है, मैं इसको नहीं करूंगा, kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's better start supporting each and every achievement any of the team
Absolutely.
does, because it is something that is bring recognition to the India as a country. If
Right.
we are trying to do something outside India, Southeast Asia, even if we do not win, say that okay, we are trying to do something that none of the other people have tried to do. So be positive, be supportive of that. Uh,
Absolutely.
that is something you need to, for a growth of an esports organization, you need to keep, supportive of each and every participant out there. And yeah, that's
Rana,
it.
if you would like to say something.
Much of what Charing has said to the fans, I said, keep playing, keep watching, keep supporting. To the organizations, let's come together. To the players, to the players, just give it your best shot. And to the broadcasters, the traditional television broadcasters, watch esports. Help us coexist together.
Perfect, perfect. That's just perfect. Sabya, some last words from you, man.
I don't think I'm in a position to, give some
Oh
advice or something. But I would just, tell people that, take your opportunities and, go out there and don't be afraid to take risks. I think, like you were asking some mistakes, थोड़े questions पहले. There were a lot of risks that I did not take, and taking no risk is the biggest risk. So go out there, do your best, give it your all, and try to build the community as one, as together. That's it.
Don't be for two.
yeah.
Be fearless. So,
Right. Great,
YOLO.
guys. Great, guys.
And
So,
to you, Akshay, keep doing this show. It's
yes,
fun.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Don't stop now. Make sure
Well
you
done.
can.
Your first episode was an eye opener for me. I learned so much, and hopefully the people watching this episode, somewhere they learn something. And
Yes. Going ahead, let this be a learning experience kind of a thing.
it is, man. I'm constantly learning. I'm just starting out, and it. I
No, it's
mean,
well done. Super. Well done.
Well done.
I consider myself lucky enough to have you guys on the show. Like, I mean, you are, we can say, industry leaders. I am just no one. I'm just interviewing you. So
No,
all
no, it's
kudos
well
to
done.
you. It's again my pleasure.
Thank you.
It's
By
it's
the
our
way,
pleasure too. Thank you.
yeah, and
you
it's all Sharang, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Rana sir also very coming from a traditional sports. So
I'm
Yes, yes.
sure Aparna ma'am is here, and we also miss you.
Yes. Hashtag miss you.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been good, but anyways, on the next episode maybe. All
Definitely.
right, guys. I will just let you go now. I'm so sorry to hold you for 2.5 hours.
No worries.
No, please. It was fun. It was fun. Thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you for this.
Great, guys. We might have have you on the show again. I hope we will have you on the show
Always,
again.
always will.
Love to come.
Thank you so much, guys. Let's just. I did had actually a lot of plans to end this in a much better way, but let's keep it for the next episode.
Next time. Yeah.
Great, guys. Thank you so much, Rana, Sabya,
Thank you.
and Sharang. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate joining, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Ciao. See you
Thanks,
next week.
man, and see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.